Hey guys, my name is Illusive, and today we're going to be talking about Stone Arrow. Basically just a gear build of what you can do with Stone Arrow. Chair's being weird, but basically an outline for the gear that you should be going to. Now this isn't necessarily like you have to do exactly this. This is kind of a guideline for those of you who are new or returning or trying out Archer, and you need sort of a guideline. Now, you can technically use the gear for Ebonsong and Trickster and everything for that, and just have a shield to switch out to, because Stone Arrow you are going to require a shield in your offhand. So honestly, you could do that, but if you were going to main Stone Arrow and do specifically that, then there are a couple gear changes that you can do to optimize that a little bit better. So starting here, the first, I'm going to go over everything pretty quickly, real quick, just an overview, and then do the main changes from my last video of the Ebonsong, the Trickster, the Shade Hunter gear build, and then just do the main changes from that one. But real quick, we're just going to do an overview of what's, just have all the gear really quick for those of you who haven't seen the last video, and then we're going to do the big changes. We're going to discuss those. So this is mostly Haram. It has 3-piece Disciple. Disciple is the library leather gear. I believe in 6.0 we'll be getting the the tier 2 Disciple, so that that'll be a little bit better. I don't know if it's in 6.0. I think it is. But the Disciple, you just want 3 pieces for the attack speed buff. Helps a lot, especially with the flame endless arrows. Now, with this build, you're going to be a lot more tanky, but you're going to have less damage, less attack speed, but you're still going to pump out a bit of damage. This is mostly just for those of the more casual Archer players, I will say, because the thing about Archer is that you are going to need to stay ahead of the curve and kind of be on a lot to grind gear and such, so it does take a lot of work to have the gear of a good Archer. But it is definitely worth it in the end if you are really committed to playing Archer. This is more for like the kind of casual archers who aren't going to be on really hardcore like me. So if you don't have much time to play but you still want to do Archer, this would probably be the build for you. So again, this is around 10k gear score. So for the helmet, you do want Haram. You want range attack socketed in it. You want agility, melee damage reduction, and resilience. Now, if you guys want all this explained, go to my last video of the Ebonsong, Trickster, and can't remember what else. I'm going to link it down in the description so you can check that out. I explain the stats a little bit more in depth. But same thing with the Jerkin. Same gems, agility, melee damage reduction, and resilience synthesized in it. Now, here's something that you can do, is that instead of having the melee damage reduction gems in there, you can have those 3 slots for resilience. I'm going to be testing this more out in PTS, but I think the little bit of extra melee damage reduction is going to help a bit. For the Disciples, you just want piercing shot damage, gems in there to increase that damage, and piercing shot is blazing arrow, which is a pretty powerful move. Also, if you want the skill build, this will also be in the description. I did an overview of this in my top 5 archers for launch of Unchained, so if you want to, you can go check that out. Check out the other archer builds that I have done. But for this, Disciples Guard, so you just want to load that with range attack. Now here's something that's different. This is something that you can do if you want to. Personally, I don't think the evasion's going to matter much with Stone Arrow. So if you are maining Stone Arrow, I would suggest doing more range attack in the gloves instead of evasion like you would if you're doing Ebonsong. But you can totally run Stone Arrow with evasion. You can do that, but you're going to have a lot less of it, and it's just not going to be that much more, and the extra range attack is really going to help. And then the cloak, obviously, and I forgot to stat this out, but you would want agility. Actually, what you could probably do is add that extra range crit damage and then do stamina and intelligence. And the reason why you're sacrificing a little bit of agility for this is because you're sacrificing a lot of range crit damage having a shield, and I'll explain that here in a little bit. For the pants, you're going to want melee damage reduction and toughness gems in there. Now, you could just have toughness in there instead of melee damage reduction if you want to. And then for the synthesize effect, you do want agility, melee damage reduction, and resilience. Now, for the boots, you want the Disciple boots. And what you want is to fully load it up with resilience. Now, here's the thing. If you're looking at my last guide, you know that you can swap these gems out with resilience, movement speed, or what was it, range attack? Yes, range attack. If you feel like you need more damage, go over the range attack gems. If you feel like you need more defense, go resilience. If you feel you need the extra movement speed, go the movement speed. Now, personally, I think on Stone Arrow, the resilience gems are just going to be better for that overall more tankiness that you are trying to reach for. So that's my opinion on that. But you can honestly do whatever gems you want in there, especially if you're switching between those 5 classes. So for the next one, the undergarments, you want to load that with attack speed, because you're going to have less attack speed in this build, but a little bit of attack speed there is fine. You want, for the synthesized effects, you want melee damage reduction, resilience, toughness, and defense pin. Even though you are going to be more tanky, you still want that defense pin just for doing damage, because even though you are a Stone Arrow and you're more tanky, your overall goal is still to do damage. You just have more survivability with a little bit less damage. For the costume, you still want focus for whenever you go up against someone who's running evasion. You also want toughness, defense pin, and range crit damage. That range crit damage is very important to the fact that without having that second offhand of like a dagger or something, you are losing a lot of range crit damage. Now, for the accessories, you want to go for a lightning necklace until the 6.1 patch comes out. For the defense pin necklace, you want to go for a lightning one, and then you can just upgrade that over time. And then for the next one, you want the Norient. And honestly, instead of evasion, what else can you do? Instead of evasion, you can do receive damage to have less received damage. You can have more shield block rate, or you can have max health if that's what you want. Kind of all depends on what you want. I would probably suggest doing... let's see real quick. I forgot to change the earrings, so... Let's see, what is our shield block rate right now? Our shield block rate is 6.4, so we probably want that higher. So let's do shield block rate. That's probably what you're gonna want on the earrings. Even though it's not much, a little bit helps. Especially if a melee jumps on you. Every little bit helps. So, shield block rate, yeah, it's almost 10%. For the ring, you're going to want the Dream Ring. Actually, that's something you're going to want to shoot for. The Flawless Dream Ring. Or wait, is that the one? Usually it's red. Interesting. Okay, it's usually Celestial, that's why. You want the Flawless Dream Ring for the extra stamina, as well as you get a little bit of extra defense pin, but the extra stamina is mostly what you want. For the ring, you want to go for a Gale Ring for that extra defense pin. For the main hand, you still want that Sceptre, and you want to roll agility, or defense pin, and range crit damage on it, fully socketing out with range critical damage. Now for the shield, you're going to load that up with range attack. You can have the magic defense shield or the physical defense shield. Personally, I would suggest the physical defense because archers are going to have more of a problem with melees. So overall, you want that. You also want range attack, shield block rate, and agility rolled on it. Now for the gems, you could probably get away with doing block rate gems if that's really what you want. And honestly, I would suggest doing some block rate gems because you don't suffer too much in the range attack department. And again, your overall goal is to be a little bit more tanky, and you get about 15% block rate. So 25% block rate, that's pretty good. With 25% evasion as well, that's pretty good. So honestly, screw what I said about range attack. Build up with shield block rate. That's just gonna help overall more. Now the bow is the same. You want to socket it out with range critical damage, agility, defense pin, and range critical damage. For the flute, you want to load it up with attack speed, agility, range attack, and move speed. Now if you want to, you can have more shield block rate. You can do evasion or the range attack. So you definitely want agility, you definitely want the move speed, because as a stone arrow you have a little bit less move speed, but you still want to be able to kite a little bit, so that extra move speed is going to help. But for the range attack, you can switch it to evasion or shield block rate. You do shield block rate. Let's see here. You do shield block rate, you will have 28.6% block rate, which is pretty good for someone who isn't fully spec'd into it. You just have a couple here and there's. Mostly this is just a build, guys. This is just something if you're wanting to main a little bit more stone arrow. If you were wanting just to have an alternative gear set, like something to switch to whenever you need to go stone arrow, if you are doing Primeval, Ebonsong, Trickster, all that, if you're going more the DPS route but you still need a shield, this is the shield that you're going to want. Socket it out with shield block rate, have the agility, the range attack, and the shield block rate rolled on it, synthesize, and if you ever need to go stone arrow, you can just pop that on, switch classes, and you're good to go. But if you are wanting to main stone arrow and stay stone arrow, there's a couple things that you do want to change, like the boot gems, as well as some things rolled on the flute, and the flawless dream ring, and as well as the Noria earrings. That's mostly what you want to do. But other than that, guys, thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate the support. In the last week alone, we've gotten 40 subscribers, and I thank you guys a lot. I'm mostly doing this just for fun and to help the new players and the returning players coming back to ArcheAge, to a game I love. I haven't played it recently since 4.5 Fresh Start, but I've been doing a lot of research. I've been wanting to get back into it, and then Unchained got announced, so I am ready for that to be released. I'm going to be releasing a lot more content, especially with PTS coming up on Tuesday. As well as I'm going to be streaming a lot. On the first day it's released, Unchained, I'm going to be doing a 24-hour. I don't know if I'm going to do it on Twitch or I'm going to do it here on YouTube. So subscribe, see whenever more ArcheAge Unchained content comes out. And then go follow my Twitch just in case if I go live, because sometimes I do some testing on there live and I answer questions for anyone who joins. Other than that, guys, thank you guys again for watching. Really appreciate it. Have a great day.